A particular favourite, which I have to show because all of the children do it, because, you know, let's face it, when you see the materials, you want to play, you want to touch. That's the beauty of these materials. They're so tactile. So if you're a 3-year-old child and you see a big box of colourful pegs, you are going to want to put your hand and start feeling those pegs. What my children do, they love making towers, and they will make towers that are taller than me, and they try and see how many pegs they can get in their tower before it comes toppling down, to see if they can get it as tall as me or taller. I've had children make snakes of pegs all the way across the room because it's just the kind of thing that they like to do. And that's what we want to see, because straight away they start to explore concepts of big and small, and they do use comparative language to talk, oh look, yours is longer than mine, or mine's shorter, I need to add more. So perfect for that mathematical vocabulary, and that's really important. You know, an adult might come along and say, oh, this is really interesting, look, I'm going to make a tower as well. I'm going to make a pattern with my tower. And again, you know, just by demonstrating how, you know, you could make a pattern, an AB pattern or an ABB pattern, where you're using AB, obviously different colours, or then you could have yellow, red, red, yellow, red, red. You can demonstrate that patterning, and again, you can show your unit of repeat in the pattern really well, so you can show which element of your pattern you're repeating. Literally by stepping in and modelling that and walking away, the children are then naturally going to start creating patterns. I might get my count-up board out. I would have the count-up board on the carpet with the children and the children around me, and we might start looking at how we can the step counting, so how the rods differ in sizes and how we can use them to count. We might look at the numerosity of the rods by adding pegs to the different rods, so the children understand that this is one. And so we would explore that in different ways. Again, the thing that's so marvellous about this resource is that it's so versatile. So, you know, you can use it in this way, you can use it without the pegs, with the pegs, you can build up the numbers this way as well. So, you know, you can show that counting, you can show the numbers in so many different ways, which, you know, a lot of other kind of items on the market are also wonderful, but they don't have that kind of, you know, two-dimensional aspect, which is really important.
The count-up board that I'm using here, we're using with a small group of children, and we would normally use it with, say, half a class at a time. They'd be sat in a semicircle so that they can see the board looking directly at it, so they're not seeing it from the you know, looking from up down onto it. What we're doing here is one more, so we're showing the children the different count-up pieces, and we're using the small one, the orange square, just to really show it visually that every time you add another one, the number gets bigger. And you can do that also with one less by showing it by taking it away. The children love this because it's really colourful, it's very visual, they can play with it, explore with it, touch it, and they just look at it and they can see it straight away going up in the steps. I think I refer to it as like a steps or staircase. They can see it that every time they take another step, every time they add another one, the number gets bigger. The children that I've got here with me, 2 of them are English as additional language. They sometimes find it hard to explain their knowledge, whereas the count-up board here, they can actually show it, so they're able to visually show me what they know, which makes it much easier for them. It's not as frustrating for them to try and get their point of view across. And there's also a child there who's actually quite able. English is his first language, but he's quite shy. He was quite shy at explaining things or telling me how he knew or explaining his reasonings. But using this count-up board, he was able to show me and talk to me about it, feeling confident because he could play with it and really experiment and deepen his understanding and get his point of view across.
With this video, we were finding ways to make different numbers. So we started off by doing it on our fingers and using what we know. And then we had a look at the count-up rods. We started with one number and they helped me to count the pegs into the rods. And then we checked to see by using the other rods on top, so we can see how the number bonds build into like a sandwich. So if we were doing this all the way up, we would go as high as we could so that you could see the patterns forming. So this makes it really visual for making number bonds and seeing all the different numbers that you can use to make a given number. And you can see the children are really engaged and really excited to see that what they thought was going to happen is actually happening. The girl that's sitting next to me is a PP child and is fairly reluctant, but she was the most involved in this activity. The little boy to my left is SEN, and he loves lining things up and seeing things linearly, so this was perfect for him. And the two opposite me are both EAL, so it helps with their language development as well.
Hopefully what I'll be able to show you here is that this resource can be utilised all the way through primary school, because when you call or talk to maths leads, the assumption in the back of the head with any concrete resources, this will work for EYFS, this will work for Key Stage 1, and then you kind of get into Key Stage 2 and people assume either that we don't need these anymore, which is completely false, or that whatever you're selling probably won't work in Key Stage 2 because the numbers are too big. We're into our millions by the time we get up into upper Key Stage 2, and then how can we use this to support? But this product, I feel quite strongly, fills a niche in Key Stage 2, and someone already mentioned Numicon earlier on, so I'm going to prove how your product has something that Numicon cannot replicate and can absolutely, again, it sounds like quite a big thing to say, but genuinely change the lives of children. And so I'm going to model how to use the rods in particular to do something called bar modelling. And we have this discussion with the child. Okay, so this is a bar that represents Lara. Lara's numbers in here. Do we know how many stickers Lara has? And we do. And hopefully the child can say that Lara's got 42 stickers. And we take it a bit at a time. And we say, okay, so what else does it tell us about Lara in that question? It says she buys another 20 stickers. Okay, so we ask the child, can you give me a rod that shows 20? Maybe they choose this one, and we have that discussion around, or hold on a second, we have 42 represented here. Is there a better choice? 20 equal to 42, less than, so it's less than. And can we label that? Yeah, we can. We can label that 20. Now, if you're really good at maths, you're probably thinking, what on earth? Why do we need this? We definitely don't need this. It's 42 out of 20, but again, just remember it's the children for whom that much information needs to be broken down. This provides a conceptual model, because now we ask the child, well, what can we work out? We know she had 42, that's it. We know we added another 20 on, that's this bar. What can we work out? And most all children at that point will be able to say, oh, we can work out a total. And that's where we can go, we can do whatever method of addition that the child is happy with, because they've been taught again and again, maybe column addition, they know how to do that. What they didn't know was how to get there from all that information. So then we get our answer of 62. So that's it at quite a simple level.